Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
This date would be an American tragedy, which Americans, Japanese, and Japanese Americans will never forget.
The United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked.
Many who survived remember this day, brought on by the horrors of the Second World War. So believe me, this is Franco Prime, and today we are talking about first, to explain some things. In my last video about talking about M&Ms, which was a few months ago, I said, and that was a time where a certain thing happened. But really, I'm not going to dive into it yet. Yeah, a few months later, here I am right now, doing a video about a certain thing happening. What I said, like, an explaining video. Okay, to understand Japan, World War II, they were invading China, and recently invaded the French Indochina. As response, an oil embargo. Japan's response, invade the Dutch East Indies, which had a lot of oil. But there's another problem. There was other British and French colonies, and there was other big American colonies when they be colonies, but just small islands that the U.S. protects. Even these two islands. But there was ocean. Ocean means naval combat, and naval combat can get Japan defeated, which they relied on speed. And they didn't want to lose a bunch of land. But we need to go back in time. Japan has isolated itself until the Americans came. One colonization in China later, the Japanese went war to Russia and annexed Korea along with Manchuria. One other big colonization of German colonies later. One maybe stage attack later, Japan will go to war with China and invade Manchuria again, which also happened during World War II. Japan invaded more and more, planning to invade the East. Many Japanese forces tried to invade China and spread the sphere of influence and try to get more resources. Then America had an oil embargo, and then it was going to end, and the Japanese would stop, and everything nicely. Or so they thought. When Japan thought,
wait a minute!
What if we raided a naval base of America in the middle of the Pacific Ocean? And so the countdown of Pearl Harbor began. On December 7th, 1941, Japan launched a raid on Pearl Harbor. Mary recalls seeing black specks, making sounds of buzzing like bees, and launching bombs on American battleships. It was a brutal day to see one of the biggest navies in the world get destroyed by an imperialist nation. 2,403 U.S. personnel were either hurt or hurt that badly, some would say. But 68 civilians died. 19 U.S. ships and 8 battleships were sunk. 1,143 people were either wounded. These were 710 Navy people who worked in the Navy, 69 Marines, 364 Army men, and 103 civilians. But 55 Japanese people who worked for the Japanese Imperial Navy and Air Force were killed. Less than 100 U.S. people survived while the Pearl Harbor thing was happening, and the brutal gunfire. Japan invaded more and stuff until America declared war on it, along with Britain. So it was caused of Pearl Harbor. 1. The Second World War. The horrors of the Second World War was the cause of it. 2, imperialism. It was a bad idea. And because of it, it sometimes relied most of it on agriculture and being ruthless to your people. Wow, I kind of like explaining how 3 countries beat 3 worst ideologies. I could explain more, but thanks for watching.